Welcome, lads. How are we doing? Not too bad, so yeah, all good, all good. We both trained at GSB this morning, and saw a few faces, how the stands are. It was 2 number of shots. Big holes there, big lot of that.
Yeah, it was nice weather, so it
was a little bit chilly early on, but it warmed up, didn't it? Obviously, we've been in great form for the 9 games before Stoke, which is obviously brilliant. Saturday wasn't as good. We won't obviously dwell on it for too long, but what's the mood like in the dressing room at the moment? Obviously, on the back of that run, and then obviously Saturday. And how's the mood at the moment?
I think obviously it was obviously tough to take on Saturday, but because the games are coming thick and fast this weekend, you've got no time to dwell on it. And I think obviously the modern day way is get over it as quick as you can, because like you say, there is no time to dwell on it. The games come around so quick. And I think obviously today it probably helped with it being at the stadium in front of the fan, because it allowed the gaffer and Eddie not to shout at us. And I think that's helped as well, knowing that we weren't going to sit down in a media room and do analysis for 45 minutes. So no, I think today helps out a lot, and I think the whole atmosphere lifted the lads themselves, and even in the change room this morning it was smiley faces, wasn't it? Maybe it's not tears because he never smiles, but no, it was sometimes when he scores, sometimes.
Not when you concede 4.
But is it nice to have a game on Friday to kind of, bounce straight back into it and bounce back from Saturday?
Yeah, hopefully we'll play like we did last time against Swansea, but yeah, apart from the last 30 minutes. So yeah, it will be a good game, and yeah, we need to win.
Your old club as well, does that sort of add an edge to it for you personally?
No, I don't know. I've played them a few times now, so I'm a bit used to it. But yeah, it will be really, really nice to win against them.
Yeah. Obviously, you've been out on international duty recently as well. How was that for you, playing for your national team?
No, it was really nice. Obviously, we lost the first game, so that wasn't that great. But yeah, played the second one and won 5-0. So yeah, that was amazing, and to score as well was really nice feeling.
Obviously, playing against some world-class players in that team. How do they compare to players at Coventry and this look standard in the Championship?
No, of course it's a difference, and yeah, you can feel it in the trainings and when you play with them. But yeah, I think you get used to it, and yeah, it was a good experience.
Now we're going to take a little look back at your early career, and Ben, tell us how you got into football. Am I right in thinking you started as an outfield player?
That is correct, yes. But to be fair, my parents actually took me to football just to socialise me, because my dad doesn't like football. I think my mum was the one who enjoyed football herself. But yeah, it was more to socialise me, and it turns out I was quite all right as a kid, so I stuck with it. But then I do actually remember the first ever time I went to football, I actually ran out crying. But I don't know if that's because I had a Newcastle strip on. I don't know what you got.
So what made you then want to be a goalkeeper? Was that sort of a natural thing, or?
I think so. I remember always asking, but the first time I ever joined a team, I always asked to go in goal, but because I was absolutely rapid as a kid, I was always outfield on the wing. And then luckily the second season came around and we didn't have a goalkeeper, so they stuck me in goal after me begging for a year. And then we ended up going to a tournament in Blackpool, and I got player of the tournament down there. And obviously that's when I got picked up to play by, I'll not swear, Sunderland. So I think I look back and think it was fate that I actually went in goal, and at the time I did, it turned out to be the right decision.
You talk about that. Would you say there was any other sort of big defining moments, in your early career, and sort of what made you into the player that you are today? You know, in terms of your early career as a youngster, any sort of big defining moments?
I think obviously you look at my CV and I've had the 15 or 12, 13 clubs, and it looks like it's been here, there, and everywhere. But you know what? I've hardly played. I played more games at Coventry in the last year than I have in my whole career, near enough. And obviously people probably say because I'm shit, but but no, it's a whole learning curve, isn't it? It's like you go from club to club, play under different goalkeeper coaches, play under different managers. Some like you, some don't. And it's like, see, you learn everywhere you go. And luckily, I've had the faith of the gaffer and the coaching staff here that have stuck by us and allowed me to grow and become the goalkeeper I became and person.
You touched on it there, and obviously prior to Coventry, you had been a number two most of the clubs you'd been at. So, you know, is it tough being a number two when you're at a club? Because obviously goalkeeper is a different position in terms of it's you and, you know, the number one competing, and you've got to be supportive. So what is it like when you are a number two predominantly?
Amazing, because I can sit having a bottle on the bench or something. No pressure whatsoever. No, it is difficult because obviously you've got to train properly every day, come in and commit like you are playing, and obviously you want to play at the end of the day. So the fight and the grit you've got to have between your teeth to try and become number one, you've got to be at it 100% of the time. So in terms of that, it is really difficult. But like I say, I've become a number two, and I was probably in the zone of thinking I'm a number two, and obviously because of the way my career planned out, you get into that mindset, don't you? And you stay in that mindset. It was difficult to get out of, because even when I first signed for Coventry, I was classed as a number two goalkeeper. I came in knowing I was going to be number two, and even up until like last season, or even the COVID year, it was in my head I'm still number two. Even when I start playing that start of the season, I'm thinking, well, if I make a mistake, I'm out. I'm back to number two. You know what I mean? So little things like that just sit with you. But like I say now, I'm looking at myself, I'm growing in confidence, and hopefully, like I say, I can prolong being a number one, whether or not some people like that.
For you, tell us a bit more about your sort of story when you were growing up. Sort of, how did you get interested in football?
A bit similar. My family took me to training once. Didn't like it, so just kept on playing at school and that, and then tried it again, and got stuck to it, and probably played since then. So yeah.
Did you support a football team as a kid?
I had a team in Sweden, in Stockholm, that I supported. So yeah.
But in terms of like outside of that, were there any sort of like big players that you looked up to, like in Europe, that you wanted to model yourself on, I guess?
Of course, it's Zlatan, because he's the biggest in Sweden, and you saw him everywhere. So I think he's been the biggest idol for me.
Yeah, not a bad player to follow, right?
Yeah.
And then obviously Ben mentioned playing outfield initially. Did you always play as a striker, or did you play different positions?
No, I tried different positions, but I'm mainly played as a striker from I was 8, 9 years old. But I think the goalkeepers are the ones that can't play anywhere else. So that's
So get my clip up in right wing for Cardiff.
Were there any sort of particular areas of your game when you were younger that you had to really work on to kind of get to where you are now?
No, I didn't think that way. I just loved playing football, and played every game and as much as I could do, and didn't think about how my career would work out or anything like that. I just played on, and I do the same today.
Yeah, and obviously you went to Brighton in the Premier League. How did that kind of move come about, and obviously the move over to England?
No, I played in the second division in Sweden. Did well there, won the league, and Brighton got in contact with me, and I just wanted to try to come here and do well. So always had other interest in bigger clubs in Sweden, but I just felt that I wanted to go abroad and try it here.
Did you settle in well in England when you first came over? Was it quite tough being away from home?
No, it was quite easy, to be fair, because I didn't move by myself, so it felt like it was all right, and yeah, it's been quite easy for me actually.
Now, Ben, obviously you signed for Coventry in the summer of 2019 from Bradford. Tell us how that sort of move came about.
I played for Bradford against Coventry, got beat 2-0 or 4-0, and got relegated that day at the Rico. First ever time I came to Rico, so I had really fond memories of playing at the Rico. But no, luckily, obviously, my goalkeeper coach, Aled, he had actually rang me in the January of 2019, is that right? 2019? Yeah, that's right, 6 months prior, and said, look, I'm getting the job at Coventry, do you want to come with us? So I was like, yeah, absolutely, I'm on the verge of getting relegated here, so that's a no-brainer. He says, it will be a number 2, I said, don't care.
I was going to touch on that. So I remember that game when you were in goal for Bradford. At that point, you knew the move was also wheels were in motion for that move.
Yeah, knew it was all going to come about, and obviously all I knew I had to go up that day and not be shit. So and luckily I went out and threw 2 in. That was buzzing.
Now, your first season with us after you signed, obviously you and Mark and Rosie both joined the club at the same time, and you were, as you touched on, sort of the number 2 at that point, mainly playing in the cup competitions. Was it frustrating? Although you touched on that you knew you wouldn't be the number 2, it must still be frustrating not to sort of make the breakthrough as much as you necessarily wanted to in that season.
I think the toughest thing for me is I always come back in pre-season like fit as a fiddle, and I smashed pre-season. And obviously every year for the last 4 years they've been, you start first game of the season, even this year against Sunderland, you start against Sunderland, and then as you get to the game, I'm on the bench. I'm like, what more have I got to do? But at the end of the day, look, I came in as a number 2. Mark Moore absolutely had an unbelievable season the first year we got promoted. He was a great keeper. He great on the training field, great character, and I had a really good relationship with him. But like you say, there's only one position on the football pitch, and I go out there and train every day for when I do get the opportunity. And luckily, the COVID year came around, and I got the opportunity and ended up playing 27 games that season. And I think that was the best thing for us, because I'd never played regular before, and then all of a sudden I played 27 games, and I know there was no fans there, but I think for me personally, to prove I could play at this level, that was the best thing that happened for me, because there was no pressure from the fans. Like, obviously, if I kick a ball out there, moans and groans and yeah, shit, blah blah blah. But I think that's helped me grow and helped me to be, again, like I say, the part and parcel learner. That's helped me massively in my career.
And obviously that season, we obviously won the league, points per game. Where were you when the news came through that we'd got promoted?
I think I was with my missus' house, actually. And she opened a bottle of champagne straight away and downed the bottle of champagne, yeah. And then I don't remember much for the next 3 days after that. Even though it was COVID year and we weren't supposed to party, I think we definitely partied a lot. I know it's terrible to say, but yeah, well, why not? You know what I mean? It was like an unbelievable achievement, even though I didn't kick a ball like here, but it was like, it felt amazing, and just the whole, like, again, like you say, the feeling and the buzz was just like unbelievable. Even for the fans, like, it was sensational. I can't describe it. Like, see, I'm classed as a League One winner without kicking a ball, but like, I wouldn't change it. You know what I mean? Because I felt so part of that team.
Well, that's the one thing I was going to say, because obviously, again, goalkeeper's position, if you're not starting, you're not obviously playing the minutes, but that season seemed to be the real start for us to have this real team, spirit. So despite you not playing as much, did you still feel, as fully part of it as the team, to celebrate that promotion?
No, absolutely. Even from day one, like, there was 13, 14 new players, I think, that season. And like you say, you look at other clubs who signed 13, 14 players, it doesn't really work out for them. But for some reason, it just clicked. We had an unbelievable changing room. It was like a mixture between young and old. And everything just worked. Like, it was just, everything just came into place. And like I say, the work you do in the training field takes you that next level. But what we done off the field together as a team, it went a long way. And like I say, the core of that team is still together to this day. And I think that's why we hold our own in the championship, is because of the pure togetherness of the lads.
I'm going to cast your mind back to, I think it would have been about November 2020, Cardiff at home, 700s, no fans in the ground, pretty cold. Mark Rosie goes down injured pretty late on, 95th minute, was that something? What's going through your mind at that point?
I was literally just about to take my shin pads off. I'm not joking. I was so used to Marco going down. I was sat next to Marshy, the kit man, and I think I literally just finished a cup of bottle. And I says, it's 3 minutes to go, time to take my shin pads off. And then he went down, I was like, I does it all the time, mate. It's just wasting a little bit of time. And then I seen Paul, the physio, run over and I went, oh, I'm not swearing. I'll hold me on tonight. And literally I ran, I ran. I got up so slowly, walked down the stairs, like trying not to fall over because my legs were shaking that bad. Done a few laps, well, a few lengths up and down, and then got the call back to say, go and get your kit on. And honestly, I was on the pitch 3 minutes and it literally felt like 90. It was horrible. Because I knew the balls, we were winning 1-0 one at a time. Yeah. And I knew the balls were going to come into the box. And obviously they were land of the Giants back then. And honestly, I remember one coming in and I called the keepers like, I'm going to get absolutely clattered here. And luckily, believe it or not, I caught across. And, and I think it was Dom. Dom slapped me backside and went, unbelievable, Ben, unbelievable. And I see it from there, just grew and grew and grew. And obviously, like, see it beat Cardiff, coming against Cardiff itself was a pleasure, like, and to beat them.
Was that a bit of a turning point for you then? Because obviously we went on, I think it was like a 9-game unbeaten run after that game. Obviously you had a really good run in the side, some really good performances. Do you think that was a bit of a turning point in your commentary career?
A little bit. I think obviously we went in the game on Saturday and obviously Lee Camp came in, didn't he? And he come in thinking he's going to play. But after his first session, I think we realised it was a few weeks and maybe a few months off playing. So luckily for me, we played Norwich on the Saturday and had a really good game. I think I remember I actually gave away a penalty, which was not a penalty. I went berserk at the referee, and we had him a few weeks later. He come up, shook my hand, and says, "I'm so sorry. I owe you one for that." And I was like, "Well, it's too late, and it will cost us 3 points at the end of the day." So, but no, luckily we got the 1-1 draw. I think Maxi Biam might have scored backstage. And I think just grew from there again, like playing week in, week out, and we went on the unbelievable run. So yeah, that was massive for myself.
And obviously, you signed in the January on loan. You've been at Swansea for the first half of the season. Tell us how you heard about the move to Coventry and how that sort of came about.
No, I talked with Leo Östergaard, and I don't know. I think he talked with the manager and told him about me and tried to get me in, and then we got sorted from there. Really.
What did he tell you about the club?
Got a hell of a goalkeeper. He'll get your confidence up, and he'll go and score 17 plus goals every season.
No, he told me to come because we concede too many goals.
It's like,
what did he say to you? Was he very complimentary towards the club?
Yeah, it was positive, but obviously it wasn't in the best position in the league, and we tried to get out of there. And when I came, that was the main target, and obviously it was not as good as it is today when we're aiming for better things and more positive around the club. So it was difficult, but it was also good to come here and get some game time. And then after a few games, I didn't play as much as I wanted, really. So that was a bit challenging for me because how I am, I don't like to sit on the bench, really, like Ben did. But it was all right the first half of a year. But obviously it's been much better after that when I decided to join permanently in the summer.
You're obviously impressed in your loan spell enough to get that move. A couple of goals as well in that half a season. I know there was one away at Stoke was probably the pick of them. Were you pleased overall with what you did in that time on loan?
No, not at all. To be honest, I wasn't happy about my season, even in Swansea and here that season. So I wasn't happy.
The goal at Stoke, did you just say?
Again?
The goal at Stoke.
Yeah.
And the keeper dove over it. When we won 3-2.
Yeah, when I passed it in.
When we won 3-2.
Yeah, when I passed it in.
I don't know how much you paid the keeper for that, but
more than I paid you in training.
Not even I'd do that.
And how different did you find it? Obviously, you being at Brighton, with obviously, I imagine incredible facilities and Premier League club, playing then in the Championship. Like, how different was that for you? Was it difficult to adapt, or did you find it quite easy?
No, I think the most important is that you play and get game time, and that was what I got when I came here permanently. So when you do that, I don't think you think about anything else really. But obviously, it was a big difference, especially with the training ground. It's massive difference. But yeah, it's most important what you do on the pitch, and I think we've done pretty well so far.
Obviously, we've touched on a little bit the team spirit that we had, obviously, from like the League One season. Did you notice that when you came here? And were there any lads in particular that like you really bonded with that helped you sort of settle in Coventry?
Yeah, I think it was really good atmosphere in the change room, and you can feel that the players know each other well. So yeah, I came along with almost everyone, quite well. So yeah, it's been good so far, and yeah, the ones that I've been knowing the most is maybe Ben, Fats, and a few others. So yes, some good guys in the team.
And looking now to last season, obviously Mark and Rosie departed the club, and we brought in Simon Moore in the summer. What conversations does Mark Robbins, the manager, have with you? About a new goalkeeper coming in and what your role would be. Was conversations had in that regard?
I think I remember speaking about it, and he just says, "Look, I want you to work on this and work on that." I think more mentally than physically and tactically. You know what I mean? And I think I was only ever going to improve on these by playing. But look, Simon came in, and Simon was fantastic. But the funny thing about it was, obviously, I was at Cardiff with Simon for years, and I knew he was coming in weeks and weeks before, and I'm still in a group chat with the goalkeepers all from Cardiff, and I remember them talking about, "Oh, Simon, what you do?" And he says, "Oh, I haven't got anything lined up or anything like that." So I'm struggling, and I'm thinking, hang on a minute, I know that you're Simon from Coventry. So he did lie to us in that respect, but no, Simon came in, he was absolutely fantastic last season. Even now, he's amazing with me. We've got such a good relationship. But then obviously going back to your question about the gaffer, he just told me, "Go away, learn this, we'll work on that." And I think I have, obviously, I come in every day and I try and work as hard as I can every day, give the strikers a bit of confidence. I think it's that side of things has worked. So no, like I say, I think I went away and done that, and I think the biggest thing for me is the mental side of things. Obviously, that's why I always go back to the COVID year when I played without fans was the best thing to prove that I can't play at the level. Now the next win after that was then playing in front of fans at this level, and I'm like slowly but surely I'm getting there, and I enjoy going out on a Saturday. Like, I go and play with a smile on my face, and I love every second of it. Whereas a few years ago I would like be panicking for 90 minutes. So no, I'm in a good place right now.
And obviously last season as well, obviously you talk about going from the COVID season with no fans, playing at St Andrews, to then being in Coventry, where neither of you had played for Coventry at the CBS Arena. Vic, did that give you and the squad like extra excitement, knowing that you were going to be back in the city last season?
Yeah, of course it did. I think everyone has been waiting for the fans to come back, and yeah, when we did first game of the season, it was amazing to win the game and turn it around. And then obviously when I got to score, it was amazing feeling, and maybe you can see that in the celebration.
Well, that was the next question really. Yeah, you seen flying start against Forest, you got a goal, and obviously after signing permanently, that must have been the perfect sort of start for you, for your sort of permanent Coventry career, to get off with a goal on your first appearance.
Yeah, of course you need to show what you can do on the pitch, and as a striker you need to score goals. So yeah, it was important to me to score directly in the first game, so that obviously helped.
And Ben, obviously, you played your part last season as well. What was your personal highlights from last season?
My mind's went blank. No, I think obviously the whole buzz last year, like coming back. Obviously, you go the season before playing at St Andrews, I used to absolutely hate it. It was horrible place to get away from. After the game, you're stuck in traffic for half an hour. Honestly, it was a nightmare. But now we're back to Rico now, and I think the whole buzz last year, I played a handful of games, and then obviously towards the end of the season played against West Brom and saved the penalty. So I think that, looking back for myself, and funny story about saving the penalty, I think it was obviously last kick of the game, and I asked the ref what was happening as soon as the pen was taken. He said, yeah, full time no matter what. And I saved it and ran and screaming on, and I think it was Rosie saying, get the FNL back in your goal. I mean, just the feeling of that, like, it was just amazing. Obviously, I finished the season playing, and I think I gained a bit of confidence going into the start of the season. I think that's why, like, when I come not play against them at the start of the season, it was a big kick in the teeth, like, because obviously the confidence I had from playing at the end of the season.
And obviously, Vic, last season, during the season, you got your call up to Sweden, you know, to replace Zlatan, you know, in the World Cup qualifiers. You played in 2 games. You know, how was that experience last season, being called up to the international scene?
No, it went quick. Obviously, we started well in the season with Coventry, scored a few goals, and then, yeah, I didn't expect to get the call up, and then obviously I got the call up later, and yeah, it was amazing. I didn't expect to play, and got some game time in both of the games. So yeah, it was good, but yeah, the worst part was that I had to sing in front of the whole team directly after the first game. So yeah, that wasn't my best experience.
What did you sing?
I don't remember. I was trying to forget. I sang "Stand By Me."
And obviously, getting on to this season, you know, as we all know, it was a real challenging start to the season with obviously the pitch issues. Ben, what was that like as players to sort of deal with?
It's one of them things, like, you try not to let it affect you, but as everything was, you turned on the telly and everything was about Coventry City, and you read the newspapers, everything was about us, and it was just like, it's actually draining us, you know what I mean? Even though it probably didn't feel like it was. And like, you go out and you're playing football at the end of the day, and you think it's your release from the outside world. But because it was having an impact, it was like the away games, we weren't picking up points, and like nobody was in the know of what was happening. And I think it did take its toll massively on the players and the staff, and like even like the stress that the gaffer had, stress that AD, all the coaches have had. Like it was obviously then passing down onto us, and it wasn't a good time to be part of Coventry City, but like say there was light at the end of the tunnel, and we've come out unbelievable, and now we've got a good pitch to play on, haven't we? So
it seemed like there was a lot of belief, even so what was happening. We had Matty Gordon here, I think it was just before the Middlesbrough game, which was our first win, and he was adamant that once we got on a run, we'd be absolutely fine. Vic, did you sort of share that sort of feeling that once we got going, we'd be sort of unstoppable?
Yeah, you just wanted to get going because, yeah, as Ben said, it was really frustrating not playing any games, and yeah, I think that's what you are here for. You want to play games, train, and prepare for the next one, and we just trained and prepared for the next one, and then we didn't play. So yeah, it was really frustrating. But then when we got the games going, we started to play together and started to get the points. So yeah, it was important to finally play at home.
But obviously, you broke back into the team earlier in the season. What's it like? Obviously, I imagine you've got a good relationship with Simon Moore. Is it quite a tough one because you both train together and then you sort of get the place, but only because of his mistakes? Is that a difficult one, or is it just? I imagine you're both professionals and it's part of the job, right?
Yeah, no, you've got to be professional about it. And Simon's a great guy. He's probably known as the nicest guy in football. There's no one that speaks a bad word about him. And look, he's worked hard. He's trained hard. He's pushed me. He's supported me. And I think he's had a similar career to what I've had. We've both been number 2s, number 3s, and we've both played stints here and there. Look, he came in last season. He was absolutely fantastic. And unfortunately, whatever was going on at the start of the season happened. But luckily for me, it worked in my favour. I know it's never nice to see, obviously, fellow colleague, teammates happen like that, make the mistakes. But look, it worked for me, and obviously I took my chance, and I've looked every single second of it. Honestly, I wouldn't change it.
Do you think it helps that you've both been number 2s, that you can kind of support each other with that? Or does he sort of share frustrations with you and you can obviously support him in that way?
I think so, yeah. I think we've got a great goalkeeping group. Obviously, you've got Bilson now, who's on loan at Scunny, and he's like a massive part of it. And he's a young lad. I say young lad, and just the whole atmosphere, the whole togetherness is unbelievable. But Simon helps out a lot. He's classed as the older one, even though he's only a couple of years older than me. But it's a great togetherness. We talk on a regular basis, and we work hard as a team. Like, we've got jokers in the training field, and I just like to go out and have as much fun as I possibly can. And I think it works. The whole, everyone's got a different personality, but it all click up and bounce off one another.
Obviously, you've had a brilliant season personally. 17 clean sheets you're up to now. How pleased are you with that? And did you expect that you get 17 clean sheets?
Never, honestly. I think obviously first I've got to thank the centre halves and I think strikers, because this class is defended from the front these days. No, it's like an amazing achievement. It's to see your name amongst other names. Obviously, the Coventry's past of players who's playing in Champions League and all that, and you see your stats against them. It's like, oh, hang on a minute, I'm competing with the best here. It's amazing. I love the fact that I've got an opportunity to go and be a record breaker at Coventry City. Like you say, you get a bit of limelight for yourself and a bit of respect for yourself. You know what I mean? So, but again, like you thank everyone in front of you for making my life a whole lot easier. But it is nice when you do make a few saves and keep it clean sheets.
And Vic, we've got 7 games left now. Have you got any kind of personal goals for the rest of the season? And in terms of the team, what's the kind of aim now? What's everyone talking about?
Not concede 4 goals in the game, and then
Defenders, bloody defenders.
No, and then win as many games as we can, so we can go to the playoffs, and then take it from there. So that's the aim, really.
And for you personally, do you sort of set yourself goals, or is it just one game, try and score? See it like that?
Yeah, if I score every game, that's great. So yeah, that's what I try to do.
He's a miserable bugger, I tell you.
So yeah, that's what I aim for, really. One game at a time, and then we'll see how many goals will be at the end of it.
Is there a lot of belief in the squad, Ben? Like,
huge.
Close the table and work things out, and
it's crazy. You've got the statisticians in the change room who know everything, and you've got the lads who just go out there and want to win 3 points on a Saturday. But it is amazing, like the whole buzz. Even like say you come back after the national, we had a hell of a week's training going into Saturday, and obviously Saturday just wasn't meant to be. But like say, even now you come in and train this morning, there's a buzz. There's a buzz about the place. Obviously the fans as well. Like after most teams get beat 4-0, the fans don't want now to do with players. You know what I mean? But to see obviously everyone out and support the night, and everyone who was there today supporting us and get behind us and still pushing us, it's like amazing. It's everything that we need to kick on and get into the playoffs.
Yeah, it's fantastic. And you sort of fun questions to finish off this section. Vic, what's your favourite goal that you've scored for the Sky Blues? For you to pick, right?
Difficult. Obviously, the first one was special when we came back, but the one I like the most is the one against Wigan. Easy.
Favourite save you've made?
I think there's 2 to choose from. Yeah, I say Stoke. Like, the save game was right, but Stoke. I wish I was getting hands with it to see it.
I put Luton on Stoke there, so they're the 2.
Luton on Stoke, and obviously the save against West Brom, just for what I meant to get a point of view from home.
Now, obviously, Vic, we could not ask you about the celebration. Yeah, can you reveal what it's about, or?
I knew that would come, but you have to be patient.
You have to be
patient. Wait a little bit longer. If we go up, I'll tell you.
Okay. All
right. Mysterious.
What is your favourite Coventry City kit, either home or away from your time at the club?
I mean, I like this home kit this season. I really like it. I think it's a better one than last year, at least. And then away, the black one is really nice as well. But yeah, I have to say the home kit. I really like it.
And you, Ben?
What, either a goalkeeper strip or outfield strip?
Whatever you want.
Well, not the white one, because we beat the most every time I wear the white. Even though I've been told not to batter the white kit, I think it's fucking shit. No, I think that if I was playing right wing, I'd absolutely love it. But the fact I'm a goalkeeper all in white is just, it's not a good look. Not with my skinny legs popping up the bottom of the shorts. But no, I love the green goalie tip. Honestly, I think if I could wear that week in, week out, would have won the league by now. That's what I believe anyway.
You've won that a lot, though, haven't you? Do you get a say in like the kit, or is it like?
If we ask early enough, I've asked all season. Honestly, them lot in the staff room, honestly, they haven't done enough for me, because I've asked not to wear the white kit. But obviously, it's every rule. They put it down as number one kit for home games. And we've asked a few times. We've got away with it a few times, but yeah, I'm wearing it for the next 3 home games. So I can tell you that now. So hopefully, we'll win our away games.
Now, a question that we asked Dabo and Hamer when they were here. So I'm interested to get your answer. What would be your dream Coventry 5-a-side team from the current squad?
Me in every single position. No, to be honest, as much as
Lose 4-0 every time.
I shouldn't say this, but every time I go home, I'll play a 5-a-side with my mates, and I am unbelievable. Against obviously like people who don't know professional footballers, but so I'd probably stick. No, I wouldn't play in goal. I'd have to be at the back. Yeah, so I'd start up front. I'll have Vic up front. Callum O'Hare behind him because he's a little nitty and gritty. Gus again, technical, getting about the pitch. That's 3. 4, me centre half. And I think I put Big Den in goal because he's long enough to get past him. Dennis Lawrence inside.
And Vic, what would yours be?
Ben, unfortunately, in goal.
He is nice.
Then Fads, Gus, Callum O'Hare, and me.
Who's each of yours best mate in the squad? Like Ben, who's your closest pal? Is that reciprocal, Vic, or someone else?
Yeah, sometimes. When he keeps a clean sheet, yeah.
If I allow him to score on a Friday and get his confidence, though, honestly, we play small-sided games on a Friday, right? And honestly, this guy is the angriest guy in the world. Win, lose, draw, whatever. He's so miserable. But I'm the one who can put a smile on his face, so I think that's why he likes me a little bit. But no, we've had some good times together. Not so many bad times, but I'm always there to put a smile on his face and lift his spirits up, and help him get 17, 18 goals. Hopefully 20.
And what's each of your favourite moments in a sky blue shirt? Go with you first.
Fulham at home, I think, last season was a good one. So yeah, I would say that.
Again, obviously, saving the penalty against West Brom was a personal level. It was just the feeling. Like I don't know what it's like to score, but honestly, I could have took my top off and run around that pitch. I mean, it was just an incredible feeling. But as a team, I think that everything coming on every weekend, pulling on the shirt and going out in front of the fans is just unbelievable. Home and away that we're supposed, like, sensational. And the home, obviously. But no, every week is a pleasure to play for Coventry.
And a final question to you both. Where does the incredible Sky Blue Army rank in the fans that you've played for at your different clubs? And what are your thoughts on the Sky Blue Army?
No, it's been really good. Feels more
Very enthusiastic there, describing.
Now it feels more like personal, and we get close to them. I think I've been in St. Paul in Germany, where it's sold out every game, 30,000. So that was amazing as well. But then we're thinking more about the club and not really about the players who played. So yeah, I think you get closer to the fans here. So yeah, it's been really good here.
Yeah, no, I agree. Obviously, on a personal level, getting to know a lot of you is unbelievable. The support, again, like you say, coming in this morning and the support tonight, obviously after getting big 4-0, just shows how much faith they've got in us. And again, going back to Blackpool away at the start last season when they sang Gus's name for 90 minutes, it was just like, that was just unbelievable, you know what I mean? So, so yeah, like, keep singing your hearts out, and like you say, it would only go one way, and that's up. So, no, thank you very much, very much.
Okay, everybody. Now, that's all we've got time for the first part of the questions, but can we please give a huge round of applause to Tina Perez and Ben Wilson? So we're going to have a 15-minute break, and then the players will be back for your questions.